researcher.
And I'm Judy, the athlete. And we're here to help you
Better your best.
So the results are in. We put out a while back out to our audience saying, is zone and flow, are they the same thing or are they different? And we sent a survey to some of our elite athletes. These would be tour winners in golf and the top 20 in the United States in archery. And we've gotten a significant number of responses, and Debbie's ready to give you the results.
Right, so we did get some comments as well, which were helpful, but we wrote out the numbers for you all to see. The first question was, in your mind, are flow and zone the same? 33% said yes, 67% said no. So that was our starting point. We were asking them whether or not you could get in flow and zone for just one shot. So for flow, we had 67% say yes, you can for one shot. And for zone, it was even higher, and it was 78%. And I think I've seen that in some of the situations where we were testing, and we put out some really challenging situations, and
you always
people
told me you
responded.
could see it in their eyes.
Yes, that's
Like
exactly
it's like
right.
something happens with the energy and their eyes change, and you can tell
And
they're
the way they move and
Right.
everything. But very exciting. And then an interesting one is whether you can get in specifically zone for practice. We asked flow first, and our audience is telling us for flow, 94% of them could get into it in practice, and for the zone, it was 83%. So once again, it's pretty high. And that makes sense to me because I know, having worked with the athletes more in practice than you get to work with them, in the tournament. And once again, you can pretty much see it, or they'll tell you. Yeah. And then we asked if they felt zone or flow. One of them was more conscious than the other. And the results of that one were really interesting. They came out 50-50. And so the jury's still out on that one. And that's something I think I can look at and test with my sensors and look at the brain waves and the brain maps. And that's kind of where we're going with the next study. Okay. And the last question we asked just for fun was whether or not you felt you could will the ball in the hole or the arrow into the middle of the target, or whatever that outcome is. And I was very pleased. 83% said yes. And then, of course, the 17% said no. And I know I've been asking that question for years. And when you reach the top levels, it's usually a yes.
you know you can.
Yes.
Like you really know, yes, I can will that in. The thing is how much energy it takes, so how often I can call up that to do it is a whole different conversation, right?
That's correct.
But this was interesting to me because all of this coming in, there were some, not completely consistent, depending on how different athletes look at it, which gives us a lot to look at going forward. Mm-hmm. Next research, things like that. And I think flow and zone will continue to be talked about. It certainly, we've spent a lot of time kind of talking about flow and zone, and what do we see as we're watching athletes perform? Do we think they're in flow or in zone? And then probably getting better and better questions to ask them, where are you?
And all of these things help us design the research, because it could be that one shot. And I know we're going to do one of our YouTubes on the pressure shot, the one competition from our archery research. And that one shot was fascinating. And people said they got in the zone. So, yeah. So continue to think about it for yourself. Continue to practice. I tell people all the time, practice willing the ball in the hole. And they kind of look at you like you're funny, but you got to practice doing it. It might not go in every time, but once you get it, you get pretty good at it. It's a skill.
And engage with us on YouTube. Certainly
Right.
give us your thoughts. What do you discover? What do you think? We're always excited to see what people are sending to us, and then we try to work them into our next, or one of our next YouTubes.
Yes.